Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Kari and today I am doing a book review of The Three Musketeers by Alexandre Dumas. I have not done a book review in 2 months. I didn't have time in July and August, what with my irregularities, and besides that, I didn't really read a book that I had a burning desire to do a review on, particularly not when I had the time. But I'm getting back into it now. And obviously, it's The Three Musketeers. First things first, I really like this edition. I have no idea where I got it. I just know that I got it, and it's pretty, and it has swords, and it has pictures inside, and I like it. Oh, I just saw a picture. There we go. Pictures. And beyond that, it was really just an okay book. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 ultimately, because my biggest complaint was that it felt choppy. Now, I understand that being written in sometime in the first half, I believe, of the 19th century, serialization was fairly common. I could be wrong, but I think Mark Twain was about then. Either way, sometime in the 19th century, serialization was a big thing. People wrote their books in serialized articles for newspapers, and then when they were all finished, you had a book, and people bound them, and that's how we got Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. But this one, whether or not it was serialized is beside the point, because it was just choppy. It felt like we were following 17 different stories that had only marginally anything to do with each other. It lessened in the last 100 pages or so, which was nice, but for the first 450 or something like that, it just felt like it wasn't a coherent piece of story. I did not enjoy that, and that is largely why I gave it 3.5. I did not see the ending coming, I will say that. The movies do not show that ever, because, well, they're movies, and why would they? When I put the book back up, you can come back in if you don't want to be spoiled as for the real ending of The Three Musketeers. The real ending of The Three Musketeers is that the love of our main character D'Artagnan's life, apparently, gets poisoned by this woman who is the Musketeers' enemy the entire time. Also, it turns out that at the end, he is a musketeer because the cardinal makes him a musketeer, and I'm still not really clear on that, but that's a whole other thing. But the other three, Aramis, Porthos, and Athos, they are all no longer musketeers. Now we're back. There are a bunch of things I didn't really understand. I didn't mind the writing style itself, the sentence structure and the words used. I actually quite enjoyed that. It was, again, just the choppiness and the lack of coherency that really made me struggle through most of this book. The basic plot, because I haven't said that yet, in case you were wondering or unaware for whatever reason, is that there is our main character, D'Artagnan, who desperately wants to join the he wants to join the Musketeers, which is the king's elite fighting force in France in the 1700s. This book specifically takes place in 1628, and I only know that because of a character's death, and it turns out he actually did die in that year. So that was interesting. There are several anachronisms within the book that are mentioned in the afterword, which I thought were very interesting, because they're not anything that I would have particularly caught. The book is not overly consistent as far as details go, so if that's something that really bugs you, I wouldn't necessarily suggest this, but if it doesn't really matter, then who cares? Anyway, back to the plot. D'Artagnan desperately wants to join the Musketeers, so he goes to Paris to try and do so and meets Athos, Porthos, and Aramis, who are Musketeers. And we kind of follow their journey through the political intrigues of the King of France versus the Cardinal, and all of them versus England throughout the rest of the book. Like I said, it does take place in 1628, which is during the reign of Charles I, because James I of England died in 1625. However, it does still have George Villiers, 1st Duke of Buckingham, in it because he was a favorite of both James and Charles. Read a book on him earlier this year, it's the only reason I know any of that. But it was interesting in its setting. Like I said, the writing was itself, the sentence structure, etc. was pretty good. The plot seemed a little over-contrived. That contributed to the serialization feeling for me. It felt like he had come up with all these little plots, but couldn't figure out for the first 400 pages how to make them into one large coherent plot. And he did finally figure that out, but there were also many, many subplots for the first 250 pages or so that had no need to be in there whatsoever. Because with the exception of the Three Musketeers and D'Artagnan, the characters within those scenes, I'm gonna call them, never showed up again. Or if they did, it was a mention here. Oh, the love interest of this character. And I get that I'm getting very passionate about this at the moment, but it just drives me nuts. If you're going to make a character have a name, if you're going to give a character a name, that character should have some sort of importance. And don't get me wrong, I do this when I write for fun all the time. I give people names and they have no real importance. But even so, it shouldn't feel incoherent. And this book largely did. So I gave it 3.5 because it felt largely incoherent. I did enjoy the plot. I enjoyed being thrown for a loop at the end because did not see the ending coming. But the Count of Monte Cristo was much better. And I'm hoping that The Man in the Iron Mask is better too. But I will get to that and let you know. Anyway, that is my review on The Three Musketeers. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.